Welcome to the Juniper Veil. I'd like to do a spread, like a little panorama spread, on the question of did King Charles help the former Prince Andrew, pay off Epstein? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 5 or 6 cards, set them out as a panorama, see how they interact with each other, to give us like an idea historically in the past of what happened with King Charles, the former Prince Andrew, and the Epstein files, to see if King Charles helped specifically to pay off Epstein, or um, or any of the girls. Did King Charles spend any money to hide the former Prince Andrew's uh, undertakings with the Epstein survivors and Epstein? 10 of Pentacles. First thing is a money card. Interesting. Page of Wands, the Magician, King of Wands, King, 7 of Swords. One more card, 5 of Swords. All right, so swords, again, are difficult situations, difficult events, stress problems, spiritual pain rather than physical pain. Wands are masculine energy. We have the King of Wands in here as well. Outworld activities is also about wands. Attitudes, abilities, and situations that offer the potential for success. And then Pentacles, money. I did ask about money, so I'm going to take that into account as money. 10 of Pentacles, we have that completion of money. So that to me says an ending of an event, a money interaction. Trying to end some rocky times, trying to end something going on that has to do with finances. Then we have the Page of Wands. Pages are princesses, preparation for success, naivety, willing to learn, hesitant, hopeful, subordinates. It's kind of interesting because it's like, I kind of see Andrew in this sense as the Page of Wands and King Charles as the King of Wands, right? Kings are the authority, the completion point, highest position. At the point of the king, you either consolidate or you start anew. Then we also have the Magician, which is the first card in the deck after the Fool. The Fool is 0. The Magician includes the Pentacles, the Swords, the Wands, the Cups. The Magician is doing something behind the scenes. They have the tools. They have the tools to work behind the scenes. And then we have Swords. We have our difficult situations. 5s are a bit crazy. 7s are the mystical number. 7 heavens, 7 days of the week. We're looking at soul searching, Um, we're looking at somebody who sometimes is alone too much. In this deck, I see the Seven of Wands here as there's two people. I mean, Seven of Swords, I should say. I think I said Seven of Wands. Seven of Swords, two people getting ready to fight. I think this is an argument between two brothers. This is something. This is a difficult situation between two brothers. And then we have the Five of Swords. And fives again are about change or instability. They can be impulsive, also curious and playful, but these are swords again. So here's a person looking at another person, but they are behind a rock, right? And they're armed with a sword. The person in the background, I can't tell if they have a sword. Let's see, one, two, three, four. I think they do because I see three swords up top of that hill, on top of the rock. One sword with that person hiding, and another person on the horse with a sword, which again makes me think of King Charles on the horse. He's in charge, and his brother Andrew is hiding. But his brother, I think he has to be careful of his brother. His brother looks like he's coming after him in a way. So even though I wanted to look into the past, I mean, that's still like in the past. It could be current, it could be future, but it could be. This is volatility between the two brothers. So I asked about money. The first thing I got was the Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is usually when you're using the Rider Waite. It's like a completion. There's like family inheritance. That could be the money of the royal family, right? You have a home in the back, a nice home. You have a man coming back with the dogs, greeting the woman and the child. It's like happy family. Ten of Pentacles. To me, this means money. This means a wealthy family. And then you have the Page of Wands, which I think is Andrew because he's not king, but he's part of the royal family. And it's funny that you have that lizard. It's not a snake, but it almost says to me like a snake in the grass. This is a lizard. It's very interesting. What could a lizard mean? I'm going to look in the book for this specific deck to see what else it says about this card because I find that to be very interesting. And if you hear a cat making noise every once in a while, that's because I have a cat on my lap and she doesn't want me to keep moving. But she has no choice. So let's see. The Page of Wands is very interesting in this deck. Page of Wands is inexperienced, may benefit from assistance. So if you're thinking of just in general of the Page of Wands, it's adventurous, it's creative, there's potential, there's newly inspired. I didn't go for reversals in this deck because I like to look at the cards like this together. Um, so each page in this deck is a small animal in order to distinguish them from the other court cards. So this is a salamander because that has to do with fire. Wands are fire, it's a salamander. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. The salamander is climbing atop a tall reed where it would be able to see the world around it with all the excitement and curiosity that defines the tarot's pages. I think that's interesting. I mean, it feels to me like that is Andrew because Andrew is like, wow, look at all this great stuff I could do. He's not responsible. He's lived a life of privilege. He sees the world as his plaything. He comes from money. Maybe he's met the magician. Magician could be Epstein. The magician is doing all types of things. All types of things. Andrew's naive. Charles is saying, "Oh, great." He's finding out what's happening. The brothers are not. They didn't get along. They're fighting. This is a past to them fighting. And Andrew is holding a grudge. He's waiting. Maybe he wants to take down Charles. Maybe that's some people believe Charles will not be king for a long time. They think he will not last, whether it's a health issue or not. He said he was doing well with his health, even though we knew he was going through cancer treatment. But maybe Andrew is stressing him out. His health will get worse, and he will need to abdicate to William because of his health. I think is not going to do well, and I think it's because of Andrew. I think that's really stressing him out. Did King Charles give money? He could have. I'd still say yes because I got that pentacles. I got a completion of pentacles, which means to me I have completion, a handover of money. Because Andrew is too busy being naive. He's hanging out with the magician and he should not have been. And King Charles feels like he has to be the responsible one. This causes the brothers to fight. And Charles needs to watch his back. I think that's very clear, in my opinion. I want to ask another question. What's in the future for Andrew? I'm going to do another six. I did 6 cards, right? 6 card spread. What's in the future for Andrew? I mean, those cards tell me that Andrew is like that brother who felt like he could do whatever he wants. So he did do whatever he wanted. Never really grew up. And now everybody in the family is kind of having to deal with that. I feel very bad for his daughters. You know, I think, seems to me that Fergie kind of went along with it and kind of acted like she didn't know all the bad things that were happening. Maybe she didn't, but she probably also kind of knew some things. So I don't know. I don't know where Fergie exactly falls into all of this. I feel bad for his daughters, though. It must be very stressful to have to know that, your father partook in things that were pretty much criminal. And, you know, especially against women. So, what's in the future for Andrew? What is in the future for Andrew? I really think that other spread is almost it ended in like a warning for King Charles to watch his back when it comes to his brother. I really do. It's very sad. What a stressful life to be a royal, huh? I don't want that life, that's for sure. That just popped out the deck. That's going to be my first card. 9 of Cups. Oh, look at the little kitty cat with the fishy. 9 of Pentacles. 9 card, which is the Hermit. Page of Swords. Wheel of Fortune. Ace of Pentacles. Ah, that's interesting. First of all, can we just appreciate how fantastic these cards are? They're so cool. So cool. Endless Tarot. I definitely think people should look into these. The author, the Eric Mail, he has a Patreon actually you can go to. You can become part of his Patreon. He also has a website with other decks. They're very nice. So this Nine of Cups is, you have this kitty cat collecting fish. This cat is having a good time. Nines, they are the card before completion, but it is the end of a cycle. Because nines technically are the last number in general, because tens usually become ones. So in numerology, they're like the last number. Um, Nines are talking about tolerance for differences among different people, the attainment of wisdom through experience. Don't get too caught up in the bigger picture and ignores those that are around you. Usually you know what you want and how to get it. End of a cycle in wholeness. Cups, again, are emotions and social relationships. Intuition. Pentacles, we're looking at money, finance, career protection. Then we have the Hermit. So it's interesting that it was like 999, right? I think with the Nine of Cups, this is saying to Andrew, you have to remember to think about others. I think he is naive. I think he's a person that's lived a sheltered life that could feel like he can do whatever he wants. I don't particularly believe he understands what he's done. I really don't think he has that type of foresight. So, because of that, I think he feels like he's doing great. He doesn't see a wrongness in what he's done. I think this card is saying he needs to think about his daughters, whether he actually is or not. The Nine of Cups. This is a water sign. This is an earth sign. This is also the Nine of Pentacles, which is interesting because I look at the woman and I see the Queen. I see Queen Elizabeth. You know, she's collecting pentacles off of the tree, which is like inheritance. I don't think Andrew is going to worry about money. That's never going to be a thing. And I think that's kind of true because at that point where he does have to worry about money is when he says, well, I'll write a tell all book and I'll make my own money. And I don't think the royal family wants that. So I don't think he's going to worry about money. I just lost my AirPod. Hold on. Okay, let me get back. So before I lost my AirPod out of my ear, I was saying that he doesn't worry about money because it's always going to be there because they don't want him writing a tell all book for the most part. I think that's pretty much how it's going to be. The Hermit. So the Hermit is somebody who is off on their own, usually doing some soul searching, but I don't think in this sense he is. I mean, he could be, maybe. I don't know how far in the future this is, but I really think in this sense, the Hermit is saying that he's going to be a loner. People don't want to talk to him. People aren't going to want to spend time with him. He's in the files. He's been, had pictures taken with young ladies, Virginia Goofery. People don't want him around. Page of Swords, again, I think he's the page. He is that butterfly. He's too still too naive. He's still always going to be a minor royal because, he's not the first son. The more kids that are born, he becomes lower and lower and lower in the alignment, and he's also not technically a prince anymore. That was taken away. So he's still part of the family, but he's no longer a prince. He's gone down to page. Um, Page of Swords, swords again are those difficult situations. He's not going to be happy. He's going to have spiritual pain. He may not understand it, but basically, stress. He has stress, he has problems, and the Wheel of Fortune. This Wheel of Fortune is very interesting and aligned with what we're talking about because it looks very sad. It looks solemn. We see it kind of looks like a clock up there, right? And these three people are walking down, it looks, with a cover. So that's very interesting. I feel like, the Wheel of Fortune has turned and it's not good for him. He's still going to have money, but he's going to be shunned. I don't think he really understands why. I think he's just too naive. He's going to be kind of a pouty, naive child because the world is going against him. He does have the Ace of Pentacles, which is like a new beginning when it comes to money or business or health. So he is still going to probably have the ability to make money. Maybe in the end, he will write a book anyway, even if they give him money to not write a book. I see this as the queen, her inherit, he still has money because the queen gave him money. So he's going to have money. But is he also going to still write a book? Is he going to have a new beginning when it comes to money? Probably still looking for money. It seems like him and Fergie are always looking for money. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's still looking for more ways to make money. He may have to be giving some of his money away anyway, depending upon how this plays out for him. I don't think he's learned anything. I don't see any sense of learning something. I mean, he could with the Nine of Cups if he really wants to. He could really look into his intuition, his emotions, his social relationships, but I don't know. I think maybe his close social relationships, like with his daughters, he'll keep intact. This is a You could almost see this as like a mother cat finding food for her kittens or something like that, but he's still having a good old time doing whatever it is that he wants to do. I just want to look up the Wheel of Fortune for this book because I like this picture and I just want a little bit more info about it. See if I'm missing something. Um, the Wheel of Fortune is a 10 card as well. That's a completion card, start of something new. Fate, change, chance, right? So the figures are kind of oblivious to the Wheel of Fortune in a way. Fate sometimes has a tendency to sneak up on us and take us by surprise. And other times we approach it with full awareness and acceptance. So Andrew has the Wheel of Fate coming up to him. And if this were a journey, right, if we were looking at as this as a path that someone has been taking in their life, like they're linked together, I see someone living the good life, getting their inheritance from their mom. We have the Wheel of Fortune that's going to cause him to become, he basically became a hermit. He's still, the Page of Swords here shows me somebody who's away from home, or they're just out. They're an outsider now, which the hermit is kind of like an outsider. There's nobody around. Like the only people around here are like three people in black. And this he has three siblings. I mean, are the siblings leaving him behind, or are the siblings saying, "This is your fate now. Go find your own money. You have inheritance from mom. Do what you will." So he goes on a journey to find his own money, his own protection. Because there's always that risk that how much they cut him off, what does he then do in return? Royal family doesn't like scandal, but they've had a lot of it. Another tell-all book, going and selling, doing interviews for money. They had that happen with Harry. He felt like he had to make that money to protect his family, so he felt like he didn't have a choice. So that's one of the ways that he chose. So what's Andrew going to do now? I don't know. I guess we'll see. But he's going to try something. And if I look at my other reading, Charles needs to be careful because his brother is angry because his brother doesn't understand his wrongdoing. He just doesn't have the emotional intelligence for it. All right. So thank you so much. I'll put the link for these cards in the description because I just love them so much. So I like to show them off. If anyone's interested, definitely support the artist. And like and subscribe if you'd like. Thank you so much. Leave any comments that you would like. Thank you so much. And I will see you again. Thank you.